This video is brought to you by Squarespace. What if I told you the Galaxy-class USS Enterprise-D is back for the third season of Star Trek Picard? Alright, you might have seen this one coming. Still, today we have some concrete information that does point to Picard's iconic Enterprise making some appearance in the upcoming third and final season of Star Trek Picard. We've also got comments from Terry Matalas, showrunner of the series, which could put a hole in our theory, so we'll explore more of that in this video and what they actually mean. As a heads up, this video may contain spoilers for Star Trek Picard Season 3. You have been warned, turn away now. Welcome to Trek Central, I'm your host Captain Jack, and let's get straight into the video. Now, we've already touched on details on the upcoming season of Star Trek Picard, such as Riker's USS Titan appearing, especially after Jonathan Frakes made a cryptic comment and also inside revealed key details about the first episode of the series. We're also aware of British actor Ed Spielers turning up in the season sometime soon. More of that in an article on TrekCentral.net. Before we actually get into the video though, we're very close to 100k YouTube subscribers here on the channel. Give us a helping hand, hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. Oh, you can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe, such as when we break these articles. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, because we're talking about Star Trek, and of course, we want to hear from you. Alright, let's get into it. Engage. As mentioned in the intro, the wonderful people at Squarespace are sponsoring this video. If you're interested in making a website, Squarespace is for you, as the all-in-one platform for website design. You can pick from a professionally designed templates and upload your own original content to personalize the design. Not only that, you've got access to features such as blogging tools, perfect for sharing stories, photos, videos, and updates. Video blocks are a fantastic feature for ourselves, as you know, we're all about videos on the channel. You can see on screen now how we're using Squarespace for our portfolio of fantastic content. One of my favourite features is the design panel. Finding your perfect background, text font or colour can be a hard choice, but Squarespace offers hundreds of customizable settings, including animations and padding. Check out squarespace.com for a free trial via the link in the description below. When you're ready to launch your website, make sure to use our link to save 10% on your first purchase of a website or domain. Alright, so yes, we may have seen this one coming. The Enterprise-D is back for Picard Season 3. The upcoming Star Trek Picard season is looking ever so exciting. We've had hints that Captain Riker's USS Titan may show up, as I mentioned. Additionally, Sir Patrick Stewart himself has teased multiple Enterprises. However, we've now got confirmation that the legendary Galaxy-class Enterprise-D is back, and in style. But you might be wondering, how can a destroyed starship actually return on screen? First, this is Star Trek. Second, this is sci-fi. But in all seriousness, there has been a clue in the second season of Star Trek Picard. Right under our noses was a hint of the legacy of Jean-Luc Picard's former starship. The Enterprise-D is arguably a main character in the next generation. She should have a place in a proper send-off for the actual crew. We all remember Star Trek Generations. It's the movie that killed off both Captain James T. Kirk, William Shatner, and the USS Enterprise-D. Seeing the Enterprise destroyed due to a warp core breach brought a tear to many fans' eyes, arguably more so than Kirk's death, but that's a matter of opinion. However, part of the ship did survive. William T. Riker and the crew managed to navigate a successful crash landing of the saucer section on a nearby planet. The Enterprise-D's fate was up there in air following the movie's end. However, with the successor movie introducing the new USS Enterprise-E, it was made clear the Galaxy-class days were over. While many of us would love to see the Sovereign class taking the spotlight, many still remember the Galaxy-class. Thankfully, Star Trek Deep Space Nine kept the Galaxy around, though it did blow up quite a few. Star Trek Picard Season 2 included an Easter egg about the USS Enterprise-D. While many presume the saucer section was scrapped thanks to beta canon material, this was not the case. As confirmed by a ship plaque in the background of Starfleet Academy, the saucer section was recovered. It's now being stored in the Starfleet Museum. So was this our first clue towards the Enterprise-D returning? But how do we know about the Enterprise-D being back for Picard Season 3? Well, we've had some clues for a while now. We've not had enough concrete material to actually build anything off of. We'll explore these other clues later on. However, as of May 2022, actor LeVar Burton let slip a few details. He was speaking at MegaCon 2022, and his comments have gone unnoticed until now. LeVar said the following during the MegaCon panel. We spent 3 days on a bridge they built that was a replica of the Enterprise we had during the series, Next Gen. because we moved off that ship as soon as we got into the features, the movies. When Marina crashed it, it was all over. The crowd found that joke funny, by the way. If you don't believe me, watch this clip here.
In fine fashion, because he was surrounded by love. We spent 3 days on a bridge that they built that was a replica of the Enterprise that we had during the series. Because we moved off of that ship as soon as we got into the features, right? When Marina crashed, it was all over. We went back to our bridge, and it wasn't exact. I mean, the ramp was a little steep, but the feeling that it invoked in us, that sense of coming home, was real.
So there we have it. LeVar Burton, who himself returns to Star Trek Picard Season 3 as Geordi LaForge, has somewhat confirmed it. I mean, it's super exciting. However, it does beg the question, if the Enterprise-D is destroyed, how is it back? Now, there are a couple of ways this could work. LeVar might have added further clarification when he continues by saying this. We went back to our bridge, and it wasn't exactly, the ramp was a little steep, but the feeling it evoked of us, the sense of coming home, was real. It was like being in a time machine we were transported back to the 90s to the late 80s. Again, if you don't believe me, watch this clip here.
So we spent 3 days on this bridge, and it was magical. It was like being in a time machine. We were transported back to the late 80s, right? And early 90s. It was magical.
Now, thanks to Star Trek Picard Season 2, we know the Enterprise-D's source section has been recovered. However, why would the next-gen crew actually visit it? Sure, if the ship is stored in Starfleet Museum, it'd be great to take a trip down memory lane. Who would like that? Surely this could be done by Holodeck. We'll touch on that in just a moment. If you look closely in the first episode of Season 2, you'll spot a nod to the Enterprise-D. During Jean-Luc Picard's trip to Starfleet Academy, he's seen talking with Elnor. Behind him are plaques about former starships, including the USS Voyager, but one shows the Enterprise-D, given it is a former Federation flagship. This plaque, which you can see on screen now, updates what happened to the source section of the Galaxy-class starship. According to the information, it has been relocated to the Starfleet Museum. Therefore, the Enterprise-D lives on in some capacity. It's possible for the bridge section to be visited, as it only sustained minimal damage during the actual crash landing. This is visible on the set of Picard as well, and we'll try and find the episode timestamp and zoom in right now. The detail does count as canon as far as the Star Trek universe is concerned, at least. But what if the Enterprise-D bridge is a holodeck recreation? It wouldn't be the first time Star Trek has recreated an Enterprise bridge just to take a trip down memory lane. James Doohan's famous cameo in The Next Generation saw the original Enterprise bridge reconstructed for the episode. However, does this mean we're seeing the same done for Picard? Honestly, it could be the case. Art director Kit Stolan shared a picture of the iconic Enterprise-D holodeck arch in bubble wrap on screen now. However, does this mean we're getting some holodeck time of the Enterprise-D, or perhaps another Galaxy-class vessel with a similar design? Perhaps. When asked about it being the Enterprise-specific arch, he replied no and yes. The date on the tweet is March 25th, a few weeks after Picard Season 3 wrapped filming. Therefore, most of the sets of the production would have started being broken down and packed away, as is the case with fast-moving productions like Star Trek. Now, Trek Central originally broke this news in article format via our website. However, the tweet posting the article did catch the attention of Terry Matalas. In case you don't know who he is, he's a creative mastermind behind Star Trek Picard Season 3 and Part 2. Specifically, he is the showrunner and big boss man. As you might expect, his word carries weight. Terry replied to our tweet saying, nope. At face value, this is the showrunner stating that no, the Enterprise-D is not returning at all. He did later elaborate in a follow-up tweet, stating the following in a reply to someone asking for context. See it on screen. It is not what is being reported here. There are many nods to the past, but not what people are expecting based on this. All I will say. First, can I just say I really appreciate Terry Matalas communicating with the Star Trek fandom on this one. While it sucks to see we might have got the initial idea behind this wrong, based on comments from LeVar Burton and such, it does open the doorway to another Star Trek theory. Stick with me. Before I get onto that, let's look at Terry's follow-up tweet again. He said there are many nods to the past, but not what people are expecting. Perhaps with being too specific, the Enterprise-D bridge is a Galaxy-class bridge, at the end of the day, and so is the holodeck archway. Perhaps these are components of another starship. But if this is not the Enterprise-D, then what is LeVar talking about when they say they rebuilt the bridge of their Enterprise? Well, we do have another theory which could connect the idea of a Galaxy-class bridge, but also LeVar's character of Geordi LaForge. Take a look at the promotional stills and clip of LaForge. In the Picard Season 3 teaser, he does appear to have the rank of Commodore. It would place him above the rank of Captain, however he is still able to command starships and such. What if LaForge is commanding the Galaxy-class USS Challenger? Some of you might remember this starship. It appears in the Star Trek Voyager episode, Timeless. This was an alt timeline episode where it was set in the 2390s, and the USS Voyager never made it home. Former crew members, Chakotay and Harry Kim, were aiming to restore the timeline, but LaForge and the Challenger were ordered to not let them do this, as it affected the current timeline. Lord LaForge would also command the USS Challenger in Star Trek's extended canon. In 2383, the ship was assigned to the Starfleet Corps of Engineers. However, it was a personal project of her new captain before LaForge would take over. This would be Captain Montgomery Scott. Now, Scotty would be injured on a mission with the Challenger and thus recommend LaForge to take over. But there are many more stories with the Challenger, as it being a Galaxy-class vessel, but we'll explore them at a later date. If you want a video on that, by the way, I will make Adam record one. But for now, is it possible we could see Geordi LaForge commanding a Galaxy-class starship in the upcoming Picard Season 3? Yes, this is a wild theory, but it would build onto what we know. It also takes into account LeVar's comments about being on the bridge and it being remade, but it also then builds into Terry's tweets as well. Think about it. The last we knew of LaForge in the more up-to-date comics and books, he was assigned to Utopia Planitia shipyards, right before the Simps attacked and destroyed the Romulan relocation fleet he had been overseeing. It's possible he could have been promoted to commanding a starship of his own. Maybe we'll need to work on this theory more. So I'm super excited for the idea of the Enterprise-D may be back for Star Trek Picard. It would seem like showing that Terry Matalas has done everything he can to give the next generation crew the send-off they actually deserve. Hearing LeVar talk about being back on the Galaxy-class bridge has me excited for the feeling of what it reaches our screens in 2023. Honestly, let's make sure history never forgets the name Enterprise. Picard Season 3 is the final season of the Paramount Plus series. It is expected to air in 2023, however no specific date has been released as of yet. So Patrick Stewart will be joined by his Star Trek The Next Generation castmates in what looks to be the final grand send-off for Picard and the crew. What do you think of our news and theory today in this Star Trek video? Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Because if you're talking about Star Trek, then of course, we want to hear it from you. If you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek fandom. Oh, and visit our website and join our community server. Looking forward to seeing you soon. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thank you for watching, and live long and prosper, my friends. Goodbye.